Hey friends, those of you who joined us a few days ago explored a class about getting from where you are now to something that you have been wanting and needing in your life for a long, long time. We did a class where you imagined what it is that you want for yourself. Now that something might be something that you've been wanting a long, long time and haven't been able to bring into your life. Or it might be some realization that you've had over this really challenging year where we've had to reevaluate and reassess everything. So here you are, and here's what you desire. And something is standing in the way. We can look to the conditions around us and say, of course, something's standing in our way. The whole world has been upended. But many of these desires have been there for you from way before this current situation. And many of us have tried really, really hard to get what it is we perceive we desire. That's part of what's going on. We think there is something that we really, really want, and sometimes we're not even clear on our desires. Sometimes what we want can be clouded by issues to do with our self-worth, by things that we go after for validation, for approval from others, from all sorts of things. That's something that we started to explore back in January. Some of you joined me for the Crystallize Your Vision course, where we did this envisioning on what it is that you want most in your life and trying to get more authentic with what that desire is, because that desire is connected to your soul's journey. If that desire is the right desire is connected to your soul's journey, and when that desire is connected to your soul's journey, that thing that's behind that door that we talked about in that class recently will always manifest for you. The work we're doing now is about getting out of your way. We started back in January. Maybe you joined us for Crystallize Your Vision, or maybe you set some intentions for yourself for the new year, or sent out some prayer that this year was going to be far better than the year before. And you deserve that. Everyone deserves that, to have more peace, more ease in their life, to feel that sense of security. But all of those things are not going to come flooding into you from outside you. There's things that we establish within ourselves, and then we start to experience them in the world around us. So some of us got on this journey of setting an intention or setting a goal or starting to understand more clearly what the soul's goals are. And many of you started taking steps towards what it is that you want to desire, what you desire. Many of you did a lot of work towards it. And eventually, when you keep trying and trying and trying and things aren't working out, or you keep trying and trying and trying and fulfill all sorts of goals but still feel a sense of not quite being fulfilled, you have to reevaluate what's happening. What exactly is going on? Are you moving towards the right things? Or maybe you are moving towards the right things, but you keep looking outside yourself for why things aren't working out. In the class that we're going to do together on Tuesday, we're going to explore perfectionism, workaholism, and a lot of issues that you can pinpoint as imbalances of the chakra system that are the things that are holding you back. If you've been in the self-help world or doing any sort of personal development work, you'll have heard about the term limiting beliefs. So yes, your limiting beliefs are holding you back, but what do you do about them? You can't deal with those limiting beliefs on the level of the mind. And in fact, your thinking mind won't even let you see what all those limiting beliefs are. And this is why the methods that I use work with the body, so that you can create the awakening that we talk about in all these spiritual practices. The awakening happens little by little, day by day, by consistently showing up and doing this work. It takes commitment. It takes commitment to create change. It would be wonderful if everything just happened overnight, and sometimes it does. Sometimes change happens quite rapidly. But change happens at the level, at the pace that you're going to allow it to happen. There's something that you need to process and reevaluate and reassess within yourself before these things start showing up in your life. And that is the work of break through your blocks. That is the work that we're going to go through starting in just a few days. We're going through a 46-day process to address on the level of the chakra system what those limiting beliefs are, because your mind is not necessarily prepared to show you the full truth. When you have these realizations that come to you, these deep insights that come to you in yoga and meditation, there's no more hiding. You now know truths about yourself that you once would not allow yourself to see. And once you see those truths, it becomes so uncomfortable not to create change that you will take action. And you absolutely will take action, because not only will you have the insights about what is right for you to start doing, what your true desire is, what the journey of the soul is. You can think of it really as what brings you joy. And I don't mean just like fleeting joy. I mean deep contentment, your life's work, your passion, your purpose, the journey you're meant to be on. Right? So we're going to be doing this work from the level of the chakra system to unearth what it is you should be moving towards and how you've been standing in your way. The awakening shows you what needs to be done. And once you know, you can't unknow these truths. And when you don't take action, it becomes so uncomfortable you can barely live with yourself. And so you will take action. And because you're doing the practices, because you will learn to do this work consistently, you'll also have the energy to do these difficult things that we all have to face. We have to face difficult conversations in our relationships. It will transform your relationships, not through anger, but coming from a place, a more compassionate place. We can't come from a place of compassion if we're not filled up within ourselves. When we're stressed out and maxed out, it's just not possible. The people that we love the most tend to get the worst of us, right? It happens to all of us, even when we mean to be, kind and loving and speak with compassion towards others. It's not always what happens, but it can happen far more consistently when you do this work, when you do your own internal work. It can take as little as a few minutes a day. I'm going to teach you a method in the Breakthrough Blocks course. It's the same method that you learn in all the Self-Mastery Series courses, except this time we're working on the biggest blocks that create the biggest breakthroughs in your life. And they're all related to your first 3 chakras. We can talk about them. You can have all sorts of knowledge about the chakra system, but it doesn't change anything until you start changing how you feel. And the beauty of the practices is that they change how you feel instantly. And beyond that, you learn a method. Not only you learn the method, you will finally commit to doing these practices day after day after day, because you will know deep in your soul how important it is to, before you go out there in the world and try to do anything, whether it's have that difficult conversation with your partner, have that difficult conversation with a coworker, with your boss, with your child, before you do any of that, you've got to go inward. It is life-changing work. You process your own stuff and then watch how transformational all of your interactions are going to be with the people that you truly love and care about. And you can truly love and care about everyone when you start coming from a more compassionate place. The compassionate person doesn't choose, I love these people and I don't care for those. And so this, as I said, this is life-changing work. Eventually, we all have to take this journey. Some of us wait until we experience a breakdown or burnout or some sort of crisis before we decide to get on this path. And, that's true for many of us. We wait till the pain becomes so great, whether it's emotional, physical pain, that we're forced to dive in and become consistent with these mind-body practices. These practices are meant to serve your life, not just when you're in pain. They will take you out of pain. They will show you the path and put you on the path to consistently be moving towards what it is that brings you joy, real joy, what your passion is, what your purpose is, what will bring you true fulfillment. Imbalances lead us to doing things that just aren't right for us, and you know what that is in your life. You don't have to dig into your past and find why you are the way you are. You can, and many of us should, and we should do it in tandem with practices like these mind-body practices, but your current pain point is already showing you exactly what you need to work on. You don't have to look at ancestral pain. You can deal with your own pain. It's showing you everything. What is your biggest pain point right now, and what are you willing to do about it? What are you going to do about it? You don't have to do this work alone. This is the cool thing about getting together in communities like this. There's a lot of support for you, and there are a lot of tools. These tools have been around for thousands of years, and there's so much available, and we bounce around from one thing to another, and we don't get consistent with our practices. Once you get consistent with this work, everything will change. And that's one of the promises of the Self-Mastery Series courses, of the Breakthrough Blocks course. It will teach you that consistency. You will develop something that is almost like a physical craving within you, that you won't be able to not do that daily check-in. That even if it's a tiny bit of yoga and meditation, that will help you deal with your stuff so that you can go out there and really be fully present and fully able to really move your life forward, because you'll be less reactive, right? What's happening right now is we go out into the world, whatever our pain point is, there are people out there pushing all those buttons. That's what's happening. Life is showing you exactly what it is you need to address. So reflect on that for a moment. What is your greatest pain point now? And how are you going to manage it? Because talking about it isn't going to change anything. And when you're with people that you're so triggered by, what's your method of releasing that charge, that emotional charge, so you can stop being triggered and get back to that loving relationship that you crave, that you deserve, that you want for each other? So I want to invite you to our last class before the Breakthrough Your Blocks journey begins. Breakthrough Your Blocks enrollment is closing on May 6th. This is almost for sure the last time I'm going to be offering this course independently. The course is part of an entire series, and just as I'm moving through this work, in order to be more accessible and more engaged with the courses as they go along, to free up that time, the series going forward is going to be offered as a whole. But this year, because we're still in this space where we do need breakthroughs, we all need a breakthrough in some area of our lives. And so because of that, Breakthrough Blocks will be offered one more time as an independent course. You don't have to take the full series, but this particular course creates the greatest amount of breakthroughs in the shortest amount of time. The work is all levels. A lot of the classes that I offer you are challenging. That doesn't mean it's not just challenging physically. You know, when we do those arm exercises, when we do some things that are uncomfortable, it pushes your buttons. Just as I said, when we go out into the world, our buttons are being pushed all the time. But you can learn how to deactivate those triggers. You can learn to be less reactive. You can learn how to build your resilience. You can learn how to strengthen your nervous system. You can learn how to heal. And you can learn to do it in community, where you have access to this incredible community that will support you in this journey. And truly, if you decide to join us, when you get to know these people, you'll see that they are, it's an incredibly special community. And these people have really been there for one another. Some of us have been together for many years, for about 6 years. And students can come back and do the course every year for free. So we've been journeying together for a long time. And some of these students have just signed on recently. Some of us have been through this journey together since the beginning of COVID. It's kind of like we're living a very unique point in time together, but instead of getting dragged down and burnt out and feeling like you can't go on, there's a lot of fatigue out there, we are still inspired to show up every single day to keep doing the work, because we know it's going to change. We know conditions are going to lift, but nothing's going to feel different out there until it feels different in here. So I invite you to check out the details for the Breakthrough Blocks experience. We're starting in just a few days, and enrollment is closing end of day, May 6th. And also check your inbox. I have a free class happening for you on Tuesday, and it's over on Zoom. So make sure you've got your Zoom invite. If you don't, DM me, send me an email. I'll be happy to send it over to you. Satnam.